Hey guys, this is gonna be all the content that awaits us in version 2.7 sorted by date. We're gonna go over each individual point and talk about each individual point as much as we need to. So once again, I'm gonna start off with the Euphoria buffs. We get the Euphoria buffs for Jiunyangzhe and Ezra, but only Ezra is gonna be featured in our Ripples on the Water banner, in our Euphoria banner, because Jiu is a true limited and will not appear in this banner here, Ripples on the Water. And that is something very important to know. And yeah, this banner, as you can see here on your screen, will feature An Li, Jessica, Ezra, Druvis and Voyager. If you follow my channel, then you already know what to pull here for and what to skip. Now, if you still for some reason don't have Voyager for the impromptu team, you want to play the impromptu team and you're gonna pull for Kiperina in version 2.7, you have to grab Voyager here. Or you can skip Voyager and grab Regulus in version 2.8 from the Euphoria banner. That's up to you. Druvis is trash. She will stay trash for a very long time. That's an easy skip. Same for An Li. She has pretty much no usage unless you play Noir, but then you should already have her anyways. Jessica will be a part of the Poison team. Poison, yeah, is a pretty good solid team, but it's a little bit rough on the edges and doesn't hold up. There are a lot of better teams that you should invest your resources on compared to the Poison team. So yeah, I mean, if you plan to play Poison, then you should already have Jessica. Now the true must pull here for most players will be Ezra. Ezra will receive 2 Euphoria updates. You can unlock both, but you can only choose to play with one of those Euphoria updates at a time. She's gonna be the best in slot for the Blood Ember team, and she's also gonna be the best in slot for the Dynamo archetype team. So if you plan to play, like, let's say you plan to play Dynamo, then Ezra is a 100% must pull and you cannot in any way, shape or form skip her or him. Then if you plan to play only Blood Ember and not Dynamo, then Ezra would become skippable if you already have Medicine Pocket unlocked. Now if you plan to play both Dynamo and Blood Ember, needless to say, you need Ezra no matter what. Or if you play Dynamo, you need him, you know? So yeah, keep that in mind. That is a very high valuable pickup. Best in slot for the 2 best teams in the game is crazy value. So do not skip Ezra unless you don't want to play Dynamo and Blood Ember, and that would be kind of crazy, honestly. So yeah, pull for Ezra, get his Euphoria update, both of them if you can, but yeah, hold on until version 2.8 with that. So yeah, now let's move on. We're gonna get, yeah, of course we're gonna get a new main story, right? Everything that I'm telling you right now is gonna release right when this version drops on July 3rd. Keep that in mind. We're gonna get a new story, of course, like always. Then we get our 6-star collector. We talked about this in excessive detail, and yeah, a lot of people watched that video, so you will be aware of what to pull and when to pull anyways. So we can move on here. Then we get our first new character with Hissabeth. This banner, you have to keep in mind, will also include the new 5-star character Name Day, which is, considering he's a 5-star, a pretty good support for teams, for the ultimate archetype team. So he supports characters that excel at using the ultimate. That just as a side note. Now, before we move on, let's actually watch the trailer for Hissabeth real quick. Yeah, here it is. Let's enjoy it together.
You do know that if we are apart from her for too long, we'll die. But Cornichon has been out all night. She's still gone. Cornichon!
Madam and Lucy left you this. No one else has grabbed it so far.
Comme ça. And done.
That's her handwriting! Sylvie Dubois! Where the hell are you?
Yo. Bonjour. I hope that fire didn't burn anything too important.
Nah, just some old components.
Wait, what?
Have you seen Hissabeth?
She's looking for you.
Looking for me? What's that?
Uh-huh.
My bad. There's no need to worry. Cornichon would never leave me. We are.
Can I pet them? Sorry, kid. I think your mom and dad would be mad if you got bit.
My mom and dad are gone now. I don't understand. Where did they go?
Easy, kid. Just be careful.
Miss Hissabeth, that new researcher?
Technically, I believe they count as 9 in total. They have the same goal as their parents.
Yeah, we're family.
Ow! Hey, watch out!
We almost ran out of time. I could have died.
Don't be a baby. I checked on you last night. You were dreaming peacefully. Now get ready. We're going to Placidsk.
Represent Cosmodrome. Why?
To see what lies beyond and above. I want to find out what it's like out there.
Quick note to her, she is gonna be a must skip. You cannot waste your resources right before the anniversary for a character like Hissabeth. Especially because you already probably pulled for Recoleta, maybe you pulled for Aleph, maybe you would have to pull for Kiperina later on. So she has no space in like the top 3, top 4 teams, right? She cannot be played in Blood Ember, she cannot be played in Dynamo, and Impromptu has also no usage for her. So for any other team though, you can slot her in case you would ever miss the sub DPS, and then Hissabeth is gonna do just fine in all of the teams that are not top 3, and only as a sub DPS as well. So yeah, it is not gonna be worth it right before the 2nd anniversary to pull for a character like Hissabeth. So yeah, now we can move on. What do we have? We talked about that. Then we have an event called Monument of Space, in which you can obtain yourself an item called Cosmic Charts. Those you can then exchange in an event shops for the signature Psycube for Hissabeth. You can also grab yourselves Gluttonies, Crystal Caskets, Unilogs, themed islands and buildings for the wilderness, inside materials, resonant materials, old tickets for the what's that shop called? The Miracle Mart. You can obtain yourselves Dust and Sharpodonty through this event. Then we have Echoes of Space, that's a log-in event. You log in, you grab yourselves Unilogs, and that's going to be about that. Then we have a huge updates for Reveries in the Rain. Here they added a trial support from Euphoria characters to certain stages. They added Myth Manifest tutorial stage called First Echo. Clearing it will significantly enhance your Myth Manifest. They added a shop called Harbor of Echoes. If you clear the Voyages of Volatility and or the Manifest analysis, you can grab yourselves items there. All kinds of items actually. Then you have in Voyages of Volatility, Myth Manifest is unlocked by default and upgraded automatically to level 10. Yeah, the Myth Manifests, they have stages up to stage 10, which you would normally have to clear. Now, no longer. if you now face Voyages of Volatility, these myth manifests will all be upgraded to level 10 automatically. There is something introduced called Mind Map. That means every single myth manifest has a skill tree, and you can only have one page of this skill tree. And if you would like to change this skill tree to make it more appealing, like better for the stage, for the content that you are about to face, then you would have to delete the page and reskill. Now you can save multiple pages of those skill trees per myth manifests. That's a quality of life change for Reveries in the Rain in general. Then all unlocked Isles of Echo stages will now stay permanently and will no longer be rotated. On the 14th of July, the Star of Misfortune will appear and get a new stage to conquer. Same for the Primitive Urge. He will appear at the 28th of July and he will also get a new stage to conquer. And then the Voyages of Volatility, they will reset on the 14th and the 28th respectively. Then we have an event called Between Rainy Seasons. Those are gonna be freebies that you can just grab. Then we have another, I think this is another gameplay mode for Reveries in the Rain. It's called Maritime Rescue. And yeah, you have to complete designated tasks during the event to claim rewards, such as like growth materials, etc. But there's a new item here called Cocoon of Myths. And what it does is, you can use it to instantly boost any character's euphoria to max level. That is actually a gigantic one. That's a very, very good item that makes you save keys of thought. So very, very valuable. You definitely don't want to miss out on that, and you definitely want to grab this item called Cocoon of Myths. Then, yeah, we have our Euphoria updates. We talked about those for GU and Astra. We get new garments for Baccarola, Rabies, and I can't tell who's the third. For Argus, we're gonna get garments for Baccarola, Argus, and Rabies. You can grab the garment for Rabies while completing the event Puppet Arena that is available later on. Then the new Battle Pass garment will be for Voyager. The Raw Jukebox is what the Battle Pass is called. So yeah, if you want this new skin for Voyager, you would have to buy the Battle Pass. We're gonna get, yeah, snowy circuses type of buildings for our wilderness. And we're gonna get new packs for the shop. Now they're very, very interesting. Let's go over each and every one of those packs. You can purchase for $15 980 crystal drops. That would equal to a garment of your choice, which would normally cost you $10. Additionally, you get 4 Unilocks and 30 Thoughts of Entirety. Now, this of course is only valuable to you if you would buy a garment anyways, but I would actually recommend you buy the garment just for raw cash, just for the $10, because for this costs $15, so you would want, or you would have to obtain 5 Unilocks for these $5, but they only give you 4. That's why I would not recommend to you buying this pack. But if you want to buy a garment anyways, it's a consideration, you know. Then we have something called Gift of the Planet. This will be purchasable for $2. This will give you 2 Unilocks and candy. That is worth it. You get 2 Unilocks, as you should get, for $2, plus you get candy on top of it. So that pack is definitely worth it. Then we have a pack for $5 where you again get 4 Unilocks. That is already not worth it, but you also get 5 Moments of Dissonance. You get box of candy and 30k Sharpodonti. That is actually pretty good. Like, for a new player especially, this pack is also gonna be worth it. But even as veterans, we can also consider actually buying this pack. Then we have a pack for 30 bucks, and here we have to do this annoying math thing, because we do not get straight up Unilocks, but we get 1200 clear drops. That's always really annoying. So give me a moment, I will actually solve the math. Alright, these 1200 clear drops, they are a little bit more than 6.5 Unilocks. So yeah, like we get 18, let's say 19 Unilocks for 30 bucks. Not worth it. It doesn't matter what the other items even are. You get a crystal casket and polarizer. Forget about this pack. Complete scam, complete ripoff. It gets even worse. The pack for 50 bucks, yeah, you get 1500. How many is it? This will be like 9, 10 Unilocks. So you would get a total of like 29, 28 to 30 Unilocks for 50 bucks. No, you're gonna waste 20 bucks right there. Total ripoff, don't go for this. Then we have a pack for 5 bucks. This is the one with these 3 selectable areas. Yeah, forget about it, not worth it. Same for the pack for 10 bucks, not worth it. Then we have a pack for 3 bucks where you get 2 Unilocks and a limited building. Now, this is again, like the cheap packs are actually the best ones, because for 3 bucks you get 2 Unilocks, cool. Now you have to check out this limited building for your wilderness, and if you like it, buy this pack, right? Totally worth it. Then we have something for 25 bucks. You get 10 Unilocks, 1000 clear drops, not gonna be worth it, skip. Same for the next midsummer offer. Let's see, that is 38 bucks. You get 2k plus 10. Yeah, it's not gonna be worth it. 2k, how many Unilocks will this be? Like 12 or something? That would equal to 22 Unilocks roughly in total. Like, you're not gonna get 38 Unilocks out of this. You get significantly less. So again, this is just flushing your money down the drain, and you should absolutely refrain from buying this. Alright, then on the 5th of July we get Puppet Arena. It's gonna be a rerun, and yeah, no, don't worry, there will be a shop attached to this Puppet Arena event, and we're gonna speedrun this and clear the shop out as fast as possible. I already have a video on my channel of how to do this, but just in case there would be any updates or anything else that I would need to add, I will make an update for this video and show you exactly how it's done. If I don't need to make an update, I won't, and yeah, you should go and check out my channel to find the video of how to clear this shop as fast as possible. On the 8th of July we get a Fatutu anecdote, which will probably a very fun story to check out. Then we have an event called Last Days of the Dogstar on the 12th of July. And yeah, this will just be something where you grab yourself some freebies. Then on the 17th we get the event When the Alarm Sounds. Now, last time this event took place, it was very fun, and it is an actual challenge. It is not easy content by any means. And how this worked was that you have 4 stages that you have to clear. You can just clear the stage and move on, but you have a task that you have to fulfill while clearing this battle. If you do, you will be rewarded with a perk, with a buff that you can choose for the final stage 5, for the final boss, to help you out, right? And last time we had this event, you could unlock yourself 4 different buffs, 4 different perks, right, to help you with the boss fight. But you can only choose one. That was pretty stupid. So now they changed this to you can choose more than just one of those perks. You can choose multiple buffs that you unlock while clearing 4 stages with a task attached to them. So yeah, this event will be improved. I hope it is still as difficult as it was in the past, and they do not turn this into something that would be too easy, but we will find out on the 17th of July. On the 24th of July, we gonna get the Kiperina banner. And yeah, I mean, this one will cost a lot of you Unilogs, because you will listen to people that tell you to pull Kiperina no matter what, and that's gonna be a huge mistake. But yeah, you will find this out the hard way in the future. What you should actually do is you only pull for Kiperina if you play impromptu. If you have Baccarola, maybe you pulled for Aleph, like that's pretty much it, you know? Like if you don't have Baccarola and you did not pull for Aleph, and you only have like Voyager and Matilda, then forget about it, you know? But if you have at least Baccarola, and maybe even Aleph, then, and you decide like I want to play impromptu, then Kiperina is an absolute 100% must pull. You cannot play impromptu past version 2.7 and when you don't have Kiperina. That is not gonna work. That is gonna be pretty ass, you know? Kiperina is the reason why impromptu becomes like the third best team in the entire game on the second anniversary. Yeah, in version 2.7 already, you know? Without Kiperina, that is not the case. Without her, the impromptu team falls off a huge cliff. Why is that? Because this team does not have a reliable, good, sustained character that keeps the team alive. Your team will die like flies. Yeah, of course. You will still deal like a shitload of damage. And that's like what might be fun to you, and that's why you might think this team is incredible, you know? But you can deal as much damage as you would possibly want to, could, you know, and the numbers can be high and massive and all of this jazz. It doesn't matter if your team cannot stay alive in hard content. And without Kiperina, your team will die. And so you have to pull for Kiperina if you plan to play impromptu. If you have Baccarola, this is a 100% must pull no matter what. And if you don't play impromptu, then don't waste your valuable resources before the second anniversary with a new DPS and multi coming out. You know how this is going. I just wanted to mention this one more time, because I think a lot of people will waste resources on Kiperina. I explained enough, so let's move on. Then next up, on the 25th, we will have a rerun for the story event Florid to the Golden City. We get a teaser event called In the Margins of History for the Assassin's Creed collaboration, and this will happen on the 31st. This is just gonna be you or us grabbing a little bit of freebies. You know, you can see this here, 400 clear drops, a little bit of candies and growth materials, so we take it. Freebies are always nice. And then another banger, an absolute banger is gonna hit with this Yearning on the Water banner. Now, hear me out. These Yearning on the Water banners, they are always hella bait, you know? This is to like bait you into wasting a bunch of your resources. Now, for the banner that we got before featured the characters Willow and Lopera. And I know people pulled on this and they wasted their resources for absolutely nothing on this banner. Now, this one right here features Baccarola and Flutterpage. So this time they actually did go all in and put up this is a good bait banner. This is huge. People gonna go broke on this banner, I'm telling you. So there's only one possible way where you could consider pulling for this until you obtained yourself one of these characters. And this is the very specific scenario that no one should be in the first place. But if you are in this scenario that I'm going to explain, you could consider pulling on the spanner. Not saying you should, but consider it. If you just obtained yourself Aleph, right? Maybe you have your hands on Voyager as well. You got Matilda, you know. But let's say you obtained yourself Aleph. You obtained yourself Kiperina because you want to play impromptu. Otherwise you wouldn't have obtained these characters in the first place. But yeah, hear me out. You want to play impromptu. You have Aleph, you have Kiperina. But you don't have Baccarola. You missed that out. You didn't play at the time. You went broke. You got unlucky when Baccarola was actually a thing. You know, that's a scenario that might and will occur to some people. So if that very specific scenario occurs to you, then you might consider pulling on a spanner. But again, and of course, you also don't have Flutter Page, right? So you have Aleph. You have Kiperina, you don't have Flutter Page. Then, and only then, could you think about pulling on the spanner until you obtained yourself one of these characters. Once you either pulled Baccarola or Flutter Page, you stop, you know? Now, why? Like, these characters are very, very good. So why shouldn't you pull on the spanner? First of all, because you are not guaranteed a character. You would need both, right? And yeah, the second anniversary is around, and the Assassin's Creed collaboration is around. You already obtained yourself Kiperina. Maybe you even obtained yourself Aleph. You're not gonna be rich in resources, and you need 100% resources for the second anniversary, for version 2.8. There's no way you skip Nautica and Muldir and you don't pull on the Euphoria banner. You know what I mean? You know it already. You need a lot of resources for the second anniversary. That is the most important thing of them all. And if you now pulled for Aleph, you obtained yourself Kiperina, maybe you pulled for Recoleta, you won't be rich anymore. And even though these two characters here with Baccarola and Flutter Page are highly valuable and really, really good, you can't go broke into version 2.8. That's the big point. So unless you are like heavily pay to win, you will have to skip this banner here no matter what. Okay, and we can move on. I have sorted all the content for version 2.7 into one piece.
One Piece wa jitsuzai suru.
And that's about it for this video, guys. I hope that was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate that. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.